Good morning, boys and girls, moms and dads, everybody in Viewerland. Thanks for tuning in to another Generator Monday. Today, we're going to talk about some generator safety tips. Everybody runs out and gets a generator when the you-know-what hits the fan and it's time to produce power. So you want to be careful with your generator. You never want to run them inside, and you don't want to run them in a garage with the doors open either. That doesn't count. That's still going to build up CO in the garage, and if it's attached to your house, in the house too. So prior to starting your generator, you're going to want to check the oil. We already did that. We're all familiar with how to do that. And let's take a look at the back side here. And there's our exhaust. Right there, you see? That's our exhaust. So you never want that aimed at a building because you'll melt your siding. You'll hurt the siding or anything else that's near. That gets really hot when it's running. So you don't want the exhaust near anything that's going to get hot. You want to project it away from the building, and you can see we're, 6-7 feet away from the building with the exhaust projecting towards the street there. So you always run them outside, away from windows and doors, and these doors are closed. You always have your windows and doors closed on the side, okay, where you have that. And you have working CO detectors. It's very important that you have a working CO detector. Battery backup, I keep stressing that. I can't stress that enough, but that's important. Now that you have your generator, a lot of people make a suicide cord, and that's where you have the prongs on both sides of the cord, and they plug it into the house. And that's called backfeeding, and that's illegal because you can hurt yourself, start a fire in your house. You can send the power down the line to a neighbor, to somebody else working on the lines, and somebody's going to get hurt or killed, and they're going to find out it possibly was you, and that won't be a good day. So the main thing is you don't want to backfeed. We've talked about that. Transfer switches, you can run through a transfer switch and through an interlock system, so your main has to be off. So that's what you want to do. You want to do it safely, do it right. The interlock and transfer switch is the only way to do that. So then the other thing, stand by. It's a live show. Things happen here. Never make your connections while the generator's running. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to make your connections while the generator's running. You want to make them when it's off. So that plug right there, we're going to have to plug that in before we start it, right? In rain, snow, and all those inclement things, you're going to want to have a gen tent or some way to keep your generator dry and safe and warm in those electrical connections. And you've seen my gen tent. We've done that. And the other thing is never, ever, ever fuel a hot generator. So when your generator is stuttering and sputtering, you're going to want to disconnect any loads. Then you're going to let it cool down for a minute or two. Then you can shut it off. Leave it cool down. Walk away. Come back in about 5 minutes. Check your oil. Touch the exhaust, see if it's hot. If it's cool, you can go ahead and fill your generator up. So then fill the generator up. So then you've checked the oil and you've done all that good stuff. So that's all good. So right now, we're going to plug in our load. Try and always plug in the lower one first. All right, I got that in. All right, then I'm going to go to full choke because I'm on gasoline today. So bear with me on the camera work here. All right, so we got her running. So we're going to leave that run for the quart of gasoline in it. And you notice I got her on the board. So it's on a slight angle. It's going to drain all the gasoline out of that. And remember, non-ethanol, non-ethanol. Say that, say non-ethanol, boys and girls. All right. And as you can see in here, the 24 kW Generac is fired up, and I kept the snow away from it. You can see I kept the snow away from it so that it has no possibility of sucking it up into the exhaust, going in or into my intake, going to my air filter and clogging all that up. But it's important to keep an extra air filter on hand just in case, you know, during a storm. And it's snowing, it's going to suck that stuff up possibly. So you're going to want to have a spare air filter ready. So we got this one running. It runs for 5 minutes. And then in this cold weather, when you go to check the oil after a bunch of 5-minute runs, you're going to notice some little droplets on your dipstick. Well, that's water, moisture. So on these short runs, it doesn't really get a chance to burn the oil up and clean it up and dry it. So it gets a little moisture in there. So if you don't have a power failure every quarter, every 3 months, every 2 months in the winter, if you don't have that power failure, be sure to go to your transfer switch, watch our other videos, we have how to do that, and do a whole house run. Do that for 45 minutes to an hour. Your little green light there will be flashing green, producing power, and let it do that for 45 minutes to an hour, and that way it burns all that moisture out of the oil. And it's good for the generator to actually have a draw on it too. So you want to do that every quarter or 2 months in the winter and let that happen. So, all right, that's it. Be safe out there. Take care. Sayonara. Adios, boys and girls.